Our roles within the film is that me, Ishmael and Fraser will be the producer. I will be the director. Ishmael is the writer. Ishmael and Fraser are the editors. Ishmael and Fraser are the sound editors. I am the cinematographer. I'm the composer. The storyboard artist will be me, Fraser and Ishmael. Location scout is Fraser. Can you scroll down, please? And the technical director, again me, Fraser and Ishmael, and set costume and prop design, again me, Ishmael and Fraser.
Okay, so we haven't quite figured out the title yet, so we're hoping maybe you could give us some suggestions. In terms of the genre, we want to do a cross between drama and maybe a thriller as well. We wanted to incorporate like a more suspenseful series of events, but it's going to be still a really sort of grounded approach to the story, and hopefully it will be quite clear what sort of convention genre is included. And the form is an opening to a feature film. The location, which will be within a house where the main character's family live, and also a neighboured area where we're going to have like a news reporter delivering a live broadcast, and that'll be near a park. The time of the day is more late afternoon. We wanted to, it's sort of a darker story, so in terms of the daylight, we wanted to make that synonymous to the actual genre. The characters are...
Sorry, do you want to just jump to the plot just then, so just explain a little bit about that, because we're probably not quite clear on what's actually going to happen in it. Do you want to just explain about that a little bit?
Basically, the plot, it starts with a murder taking place, and that happens to be Peter Mulberry's brother that just died. So now he literally finds the body. He doesn't find the body, but he comes across the body where the police are, and he's distraught, and he lands himself into depression. Yeah.
The characters, I play the main character. His name's Peter Mulberry. We'll include the main character's family, so his wife, his children. There'll be a news reporter, a police officer or a detective.
The micro features, the editing, titles and credits will be included during the editing, so at the beginning, whilst piano and sirens are playing. So the mise en scene, the reporter will be wearing a suit, police officer in traditional, or the detective in a grey suit. Family members will be in casual clothing. The television will display the live news report, and the scene of the murder will be near a park, and the dead body will become a brown white sheet with bloodstains.
With the in terms of the sound, as you mentioned, we're going to include piano music, which we'll compose ourselves. There'll be sirens, and there'll be a point where there'll be some emphasis on certain footsteps. In terms of more important camera shots, there'll be a point of view shot. There'll be a scene where the main character's walking towards the body, and we'll have from his perspective. There'll be an establishing shot, making it fully clear to the audience where the main events are taking place. And there'll be a mid-shot for the news reporter at the beginning. Our audience is more, will be an older audience, so from 18 upwards, but it can include people from 13 to 17 teenage bracket as well. In terms of the audience appeal, we wanted to create a relatable story. It can be, it may be a certain situation which it can occur any day to anyone really, and so we wanted to have an association with the audience. For the influential films, as I alluded to the piano music, in the opening to Green Mile, it has that more suspenseful tone to create some tension at the beginning, and so it's a similar style to that piano music, and unique selling point. It's going to be a British film. We want to make sure it's realistic and grounded, so the audience would feel that's a believable experience.
Okay, good. Very detailed pitch. So, any thoughts on that one? Yep, Charlie.
You said like it was going to be about finding out his brother's died and he's going to be kind of depressed and shit.
Nice and loud, Charlie.
You can use the title as something to show like almost as if the downfall or something like that, just to show how he was content with wife and kids and then the whole world kind of fell on him. That kind of situation.
It was good to see you that actually already started thinking about the titles and how they would appear. So that was good. That's something that's very important for everybody, I think, to really think about the titles from the beginning, from the outset. Okay, Toby?
When you say it's a believable experience for the audiences, like how will you make like the brother's death or whatever quite believable? Like, have you thought of like a specific way?
The actual death, you
Yeah.
won't witness that. It'll be based on from what the news report says, and then the believable aspect of that is, I mean, you've got a family, and so it's a loss in the family. They'll be grieving and so on.
That's fine.
Do you want to just briefly explain how you're going to do the news report?
Oh, well, basically, we're going to have the person standing there before, and they're going to be talking, and then we're going to have that pre-recorded so that we can then like have it to go to the TV. So maybe it's just going to show like that.
Okay.
We
Have you-
did do it.
have you-
Sorry.
Have you thought about how you're going to make it look like a realistic
the main,
news report?
I actually tried to research it. It seems quite difficult to actually produce. So what we may do instead is have, to actually showing the TV, we'll just have the sound coming out, and it seem like the wife's watching from like a sofa or from in the kitchen. I think doing it inside the kitchen, and it will just you'll see for, like a reaction shot of what she's hearing from the TV.
Right. Okay.
So,
Hazel.
Are there any films that kind of influenced your idea on the plot?
what was the-
It just kind of like just came out of our heads really.
Can anybody sort of think of any films that they think sort of they might look at as influential sort of films, perhaps? Sort of murder type films, crime ones?
Not off the top of my head.
But definitely that is an important thing, I think, isn't it? To look at some other films that deal with murders, perhaps early on in the film. Obviously, there's a lot of TV crime drama that deals with that subject, but it must be more of a sort of a movie style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't sort of adopt the conventions of TV drama. Josh.
I understand theoretically, like Sarah was saying, a movie about a murder would be better with a bigger budget than a TV show would be better to show on big screen. But how exactly would you have it portrayed in 2 minutes?
Can you simplify that, please?
What's the question, Josh?
Like, because this is a student project thing, you don't have the same money like Lime Go Studios would have or Disney Studios would have. So how are you going to make it, keep it simple and within the 2 minute time frame?
I think maybe, can we sort of say on sort of budget or whatever, you know, sort of like props and things like that? And
I mean, there'll be when the characters are walking towards well, it'll be covered. There'll be bloodstains. So and that will. We try and create the illusion it was a murder. So
You're not actually going to show it?
no.
Okay. I was wondering.
No, we're not actually going to show it. It will just
You
be
just show the
portrayed through what the news report is.
yeah, I think sort of what's an important sort of part of this is the body is often sort of, I think in sort of these modern films can often be sort of quite sort of scary. You know, there's something shocking about sort of that. So makeup, you know, sort of doing some things. Maybe there's a hand and the
Yeah.
sort of fingernails all look sort of blue or whatever. And those sorts of things I think sort of really spook people and
We could
can be
maybe
quite
have
effective.
not like the whole body shown, but maybe like an arm that's not
Exactly.
visible.
Yeah, maybe there's, you said about a sheet covering it. Yeah. So some part of the body is exposed, perhaps. Charlie.
Is it going to be like revenge, or is it going to be more just coming out of depression? If it was more depression, the first thing that came to my mind was part of the film Step Up, where the character's brother dies, and it's kind of like him moving on to do bigger things and like become better off that.
We
it does just deal with depression. It's not about like revenge. So I see what you're coming from with First Step Up.
We didn't want, we wanted that focus on the depression side. So, that is partly where the thriller aspect is incorporated into the film, because almost, later on maybe he's psychologically, unstable, and he has, for example, may have to have frequent sessions with a psychiatrist. So, not going into that, fully fledged murder revenge stuff.
Okay, any other thoughts on this one? Does it look like, or does it seem like one that they could make look like a real sub movie?
How are you going to get all the costumes and stuff?
Costumes, okay. So things like suits for policemen and things.
Like police outfits.
Hmm.
Yeah.
With the actors that we're using, I previously went to a performing arts school, so they've allowed me to use some of their props.
Okay, great. And you had sort of sound effects like sirens and things like that to use as well.
And we'll be composing the piano.
And the piano, yeah. Who's going to be sort of playing the piano?
I'll be playing the piano and we're recording it on Thursday.
Okay, great. So you've already got plans to record that. Brilliant. Okay.